Battle Through the Heavens. Chapter 222. Flowers bloom and fruit bears after 3 long years. The white glare recedes into a hollow ache, leaving a scorched silence where the heat once roared against the open sky. As the borrowed weight thaws from his limbs, the rhythmic thrum of his own pulse returns with a sharp, stinging suddenness. He blinks against the cooling air, his vision clearing as the horizon snaps back into a fragile, immediate focus.
The flaming figure flashed across the sky like a bolt of lightning. After a moment, it suddenly came to a halt in midair, and the white flames covering the body gradually dissipated. When the flames completely disappeared, they revealed a youth with a delicate face. His eyes blinked slightly, and the youth tilted his head back a bit. The look of age and experience in his eyes quickly receded, replaced by a vibrant spirit and a cunning expression.
Teacher, just now, what happened?
Slightly rubbing his neck, Xiaoyan frowned and asked in a soft voice. The reason he asked was naturally because while Yao Lao was tapping earlier, he had suddenly been hit by some kind of attack.
It was caused by the little thing in your sleeve, Yao Lao answered helplessly. Earlier, if it were not for the added aura of the bone-chilling flame acting as a barrier, I am afraid Yunji and those snake people would have sensed this aura. It was Queen Medusa.
It was her?
Hearing this, Xiaoyan was startled. His hand reached into his sleeve and carefully placed the small 7-colored snake, which was as cool as jade, onto his palm. He stared intently at her. Sensing Xiaoyan's gaze, the small 7-colored snake also raised its tiny head. Its eyes were filled with intelligence. Its mouth opened slightly, and its snake tongue flicked out, seemingly wanting to bite Xiaoyan's face. Slightly tilting his head to avoid the playful actions of this little fellow, Xiaoyan smiled. Suddenly, his heart felt a bit heavy as he asked softly.
Teacher, do you think Queen Medusa has recovered her memories?
Probably not. If she had recovered her memories, given Queen Medusa's proud nature, it would be impossible for her to remain by your side. I think earlier it was because I wanted to kill the 5 Dewang-class snake people, which allowed Queen Medusa's soul to temporarily break through the constraints of the 7-colored heaven-swallowing python. Looking at the current state of the 7-colored heaven-swallowing python, Queen Medusa's soul should have been suppressed again.
Yao Lao said thoughtfully. Exhaling in relief, Xiaoyan's hand gently caressed the 7-colored heaven-swallowing python. He gave a bitter smile and muttered,
This little thing is just like a bomb. Who knows when Queen Medusa might charge out again?
I told you that before, but you still kept her by your side.
Yao Lao said with a bit of schadenfreude, laughing. Stroking the small snake's head, Xiaoyan looked at the adorable appearance of the 7-colored heaven-swallowing python and said helplessly,
Who told this little fellow to have such great charm? I hope it can continue to suppress Queen Medusa's soul.
Taking out a bottle of amethyst essence from his storage ring, Xiaoyan dripped a few drops into the mouth of the 7-colored heaven-swallowing python. The little fellow felt satisfied, licking its tongue, and then lazily crawled back into Xiaoyan's sleeve. After settling the little fellow, Xiaoyan's gaze swept across the desert below. He then aimed at a spot, slowly descended a certain distance, looked down at the yellow sand beneath his feet, and said softly,
Right here.
His hand slowly opened, aiming at the sand dune. After a brief silence, a huge suction force erupted from his palm. Under this suction force, the yellow sand below flew up into the sky. As the yellow sand was sucked out, a hole about 3 or 4 feet wide suddenly appeared below. Inside that hole, the green lotus emitted a glow, floating gently within. Seeing that the green lotus core flame was safe and sound, Xiaoyan breathed a sigh of relief. Reaching out his hand, the green lotus seat immediately turned into a streak of green light and shot toward Xiaoyan's palm. Holding the green lotus seat in his hand, Xiaoyan's eyes showed a bit of intoxication as he evaluated the green flame rising from it. A moment later, a flash of heat and desire appeared in those eyes.
Find a place outside the desert. It will be a bit safer there. Then find a quiet location to consume the heavenly flame.
Knowing Xiaoyan's longing for the heavenly flame, Yao Lao smiled and reminded him.
Yes.
Nodding, Xiaoyan took a qi recovery pill from his storage ring and put it in his mouth. With a slight movement, he swallowed it into his stomach. Then, lifting the green lotus seat, he began to head toward the outside of the desert. As Xiaoyan's figure gradually disappeared into the desert, the battle for the heavenly flame in the Togor Desert finally ended with a single victor. Flying through the desert for nearly half a day, after successively using 13 qi recovery pills, Xiaoyan finally arrived at the edge of the Togor Desert. Because he currently needed a remote place, the directions Xiaoyan chose were all areas with extremely few people. As the sun gradually set in the west and then completely sank, yellow grass blankets finally appeared on the sand dunes. Continuing to fly for a period of time, a lush green color once again appeared in Xiaoyan's sight. A majestic mountain range gradually emerged, slowly revealing a small mountain peak. Looking at the small mountain peak appearing in his sight, Xiaoyan finally let out a breath. He shook his arms, which were almost numb. The purple cloud wings became translucent due to his dou qi being nearly exhausted, making them look much more realistic. The wings on his back flapped once more, and Xiaoyan's body turned into a streak of black light shooting toward the inside of the mountain range. More than 10 minutes later, a weary Xiaoyan landed at the foot of the mountain. By this time, his entire body was covered in a layer of yellow sand. His hand wiped the sweat and yellow sand from his face. His messy sleeves instead made his face look extremely slovenly and disheveled. After landing, Xiaoyan's face was slightly pale and solemn.
He quickly placed the green lotus seat beside him, and without having time to talk to Yao Lao, he took a qi recovery pill from his storage ring and put it in his mouth. He quickly sat down and began to enter a state of cultivation to recover his dou qi. Although there were qi recovery pills to maintain him during the flight, medicinal pills were external items after all. Relying on them to recover dou qi too much could easily make the body develop a dependency. If used constantly for a long time, the body's ability to recover dou qi would gradually decrease and might even disappear. It was hard to imagine that if a doge lost the ability to recover dou qi, could they still be called a doge?
Therefore, after a long period of flight, the first thing Xiaoyan had to do upon landing was to stimulate the meridians in his body and begin recovering dou qi. The cultivation time lasted for nearly 1 hour. Only then did Xiaoyan gradually open his eyes, exhaling a mouthful of turbid air. He moved his body a bit and said with a bitter smile,
Although the flame mantra has transformed into a yellow class middle level due to consuming the purple flame, it is still a yellow class technique after all. It is simply not enough to sustain my consumption. If it were not for the large number of qi recovery pills to sustain me, I am afraid I would have been unable to persist long ago. Alas.
Don't worry. This time, as long as you can successfully consume the heavenly flame, the flame mantra will surely be able to successfully evolve to the black class level. At that time, you will have a black class technique and will be better than most experts in terms of cultivation techniques.
Yao Lao comforted him with a smile.
I hope so. I will do my best.
Turning his head to look at the beautiful green lotus seat on the ground, Xiaoyan pursed his lips tightly, faintly revealing a look of stubbornness. As for the energy contained within the heavenly flame, Xiaoyan did not have the slightest doubt. Although it was said that when a technique evolved, the energy required was dozens of times higher, Xiaoyan believed the green lotus core flame absolutely had this capability.
Otherwise, it would not have the status to make countless experts on the continent bow their heads. Inhaling a breath of cool mountain air, Xiaoyan lifted the green lotus seat and placed it in front of him. His eyes stared intently at the flame filled with intelligence at the center of the lotus.
A look of joy and bitterness appeared on his face.
3 years ago, when he first came into contact with that mysterious black book, deep in his heart, he understood that searching for heavenly flames would become the mission of his life. Because only by constantly consuming heavenly flames could he gradually step toward the peak. To stand atop the pyramid of the entire continent and look down upon all living beings, one naturally had to pay a heavy price.
In 3 years' time, to search for the heavenly flame, Xiaoyan had traveled across almost half of the Jiama Empire. Back then, inside the world of molten magma, it was hard to imagine how excited Xiaoyan felt when he learned a heavenly flame existed there. However, after he and the double-headed fire spirit snake fought to the death, he only found an empty green lotus. At that time, although Xiaoyan was extremely discouraged, he still did not choose to give up.
Therefore, because he did not give up, his subsequent series of actions would make anyone who heard of them feel they were a bit crazy. With the strength of a doshi, he ventured into the desert alone and entered the place regarded as a forbidden area by humans, the Snake People's Tribe. Inside the desert, he had been under the hand of the god of death many times. Those few times were enough to make others feel terrified. Because of his courage and the prices he paid multiple times, even when facing a Do Huang expert, he was the final victor who obtained the heavenly flame. For this small green flame, Xiaoyan worked hard for 3 years. Today, he was finally rewarded, placing the prize of victory in his embrace. Slowly raising his head, his eyes stared at the moon in the sky. His mouth gradually opened, and in an instant, the youth's somewhat hoarse voice roared, carrying laughter that echoed throughout the mountain range. The black ring vibrated slightly, and Yao Lao's figure suddenly appeared behind Xiaoyan. Looking down at the youth's trembling body, Yao Lao's eyes carried a bit of joy and a gentle smile. In 3 years, Yao Lao had accompanied Xiaoyan, witnessing him grow, witnessing his efforts, and witnessing him repeatedly breaking through his limits during cultivation. And after 3 years of effort, it was finally time for the flowers to bloom and the fruit to ripen.